Absolutely ready, James. You're right. We've changed out the casters. We got the guys with the better hairlines. We chucked Tom over to the secondary stream. And Hugo, I don't know about you, man, but I'm excited to start off our BetNets experience with GODSENT versus Gambit. I think it's one of the most exciting BO3s of the day.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. I think it is the most exciting BO3. Both teams, very hard to place them at the moment. Go, okay, where are these guys? Yeah, we saw them at WSG, but again, that's an event it's you know, not only did we have the mix of Russia where C's played in, for example, but also GODSENT. They're coming into that event up against a lot of mixed teams. It's hard to really rank them fairly. And yeah, I think this should be definitely a three-mapper. But honestly, I see the desk leaning the way of GODSENT. I think Gambit might be taking this one. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I do feel towards Gambit as well here. I'm just hoping that they're going to be able to kind of resurge with that LAN performance we know they're capable of, right? It's always, unfortunately for them, kind of that hit or miss instance. And I think that that's one of the things a lot of the invited teams here this weekend have been suffering from, is it's whether or not they're going to be showing up in their hot or cold form. And because it's the opening BO3 of course, their tournaments, we don't yet have any real statistics of this event to go off of. But recently, you can see, of course, we've got some online results. Gambit just playing at a whole other caliber, honestly, right? Like, that's the other thing, is not only are GODSENT going to have to be playing well straight out of the gate, but they're going to have to be doing so versus a team that is still a step above and beyond. And I do like what Sudan was bringing up on the desk, talking about Mo's impact on overpass. I'm personally an advocate of Mo. I think that obviously, you know, it's undeniable he has his cold days, but he can take over matches single-handedly, and I think overpass is where he tends to do that. So I'm looking definitely towards, it's got to be 3 maps if GODSENT are going to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm almost inclined, as a bit of a fan myself, to just say 2-0 Gambit.
Yeah, I know you like Seized, big fan, and definitely I think, you know, Dust said he hasn't had the best performance when coming into this this team, but I actually think this is the best Seized we've seen in a while. Obviously, you know, in Na'Vi he didn't have the best of performances, especially moving over to that cooling role, but now coming here, a lot of the pressure off his shoulders. He seems to be very aggressive at the moment. You know, loves to take duels and is actually surprisingly successful with a lot of aggression in this team, because obviously Gambit have a hell of a lot of firepower at the moment. Yeah. Even with Hobbit moving to the cooling role, I definitely think Seized has kind of filled those shoes to some extent. It's obviously very hard to match up against the likes of Hobbit. I would say probably my favorite player in this team. But yeah, Caesar's done a good job so far. This team is looking nice, and we are actually straight into the game. So quickly into the pistol, and Hampus has already opened up. It's a quick push towards short, but Mo is shutting it down. 3 frags on the USP. Massive round for Gambit. It's already over, Connor.
Yeah, seems so. I mean, Disco's got himself a little control towards the B side. Unfortunately for him, he lost the vast majority of his team over towards the top of Connector. I love that corner. And I think we're seeing more and more defensive setups on overpass kind of playing into that outer connector position, because you can draw attention over towards party, and if you have a long player push up and kind of win his duel on Fountain, then he as well can aid in just shutting down connector pushes. So Disco Doplin's still got something to say here. Sitting on 2 frags, needs 2 more. Mo, the man with 3 frags, is still standing, up and kicking. And they're just going to, of course, play off on the bomb. It's kind of curious to me right now with Hobbit, I think positioned inside connector. He's giving separate 1 versus 1s for Disco, and you don't ever want to give this kind of a player a chance back into the round. But Hobbit's just coming to the top of the staircase where the smoke will plume, and this is opening more and more avenues for Disco Doplin.
Known for his pistol prowess sometimes, but Mo's going to shut him down. 4 kills in that round, big one from him. And, well, you already talked about how he needs to step up with this AWP, and, well, we're not quite that far yet, but the pistol's certainly looking good for Gambit. And, again, this is their map pick, Connor. This is kind of where we expect them to be a little more dominant than GODSENT, especially. I feel like this veto could have gone a lot of ways. I was surprised to not see Train coming in, but Inferno being that second map, I think is definitely going to be a fun one to see how Gambit go into it. But, obviously, we are into the second round now. It's a rifle up on Mo. It's SMGs up on everyone else. And GODSENT, no surprise, it's the Force. Yeah,
straight up. A couple of flashbangs if they'd so choose, but Gambit are going really aggressive. I mean, C is on the absolute forefront. With Mo nowhere near to exchange that frag, means suddenly we have the man advantage for GODSENT straight out of the gate. So they get aggressive into short, and that's where Hobbit at least stops 1, and Mo's retreat in through connector has netted him the man advantage. And at this point, Gambit, they're just going to bottle up.
Yeah, not much GODSENT can do. Still, Gambit hold on to the aggressive positioning up through short, but Dosia has to be very careful. If he does go down, that leaves the B side pretty weak. Hobbit's tagged up, and he would therefore be alone, with Gambit having very, very long rotations down towards that lower site. I think, in fact, Mo's already going to start to move, but undecided for the time being as GODSENT look back towards A. 1 smoke is all these Swedes have to play with, and that is on Brolin here taking the UMP. GODSENT, if they can get a bomb down, just bolster that money, allow for the 4th round buy to be just that little bit better, that'd be perfect. But this is going to be easier said than done. We still have the rifle up ready and waiting. Mo looking for contact. He's going to get spotted from long. Great shot from Freddy B. And now GODSENT, they've been given an opportunity. Will they take it?
Oh, they don't clear close left, and that's where Adren stands. No, seized. No, Adren. Excuse me. Wrong camera. But Freddy B tries to fight back, and it's just that easy cleanup from the MP9. Hugo. So they get through it better off than not. I mean, again, right, we saw that hyper-aggressive play from Seized at the very beginning of the round. Lost his life.
Yeah.
Was punished for it accordingly. And then all of a sudden, Gambit are still able to maintain. So
I like the reaction as well. They lose the player straight away, take B short control, get some information, get some map control your way, try and trade that kill. You know that if GODSENT are running, you know, default on this pistol round, they're not going to have a full B stack, especially when they've already lost a man in the connector. It's more common that we'll see 1 or 2 players in that water.
And that aggressive push as well is coupled with the retreat of the M4 from Mo, who's also going to get a fade away. But through the fire and the flames, Hobbit will try to hold off on the B site. Luckily, Seized is there, and the MP9 reigns supreme. Freddy B, though, gets himself another, and Brolin will actually get his hands on the M4. Suddenly, he becomes that much more dangerous. Now, the bomb's at his feet over towards the monster side, where both these CTs opt to push inwards. And I mean, he has a smidgen of health to work off of. He's very desperate for information, has absolutely no clue where the counter-terrorists are coming in from, but should know that there is at least one back towards monster. So eventually, he's going to try to clear that. And it's all a matter of time, right? He's going to have to push here eventually. And Adren will make first contact as Doja just locks himself into the corner. Brolin, oh no, Brolin gets the headshot. This could be the upset, unless Doja strikes with surprise, which could very easily be seen here, as he does have the cubby. But Brolin's got a bit of cover as long as he uses the ramp. He's going to use the toxic barrels instead. Could actually jump over them, use a downward angle to try to offset Doja's crosshair, but 100 HP versus 6, Hugo. Surely Doja wins this.
Yeah, and he has no idea. That's the big thing. Doja snuck in here way earlier on in the round, so Brolin, no information to play off of. He should have maybe guessed it with the fact that Adren was pushed up so, you know, aggressively. Doja would be in a tradable position, but Brolin just trying to play the time, and the issue is he'll get down to such low time, he'll just have to grab that bomb, and at that point, Doja, he's going to hear the footsteps, he's going to be ready for the kill, and this should be his.
The only way Brolin could have won this duel, I think, is if he had... Oh no, check the corner? Yeah, dead. Had he used the ramp and then gotten over towards Graffiti to thoroughly clear out that corner, but then obviously he's exposing himself to the rotate down from A. That was just a very difficult position for Brolin. I mean, he unfortunately, I think, just kind of waited for Doja to make a move, and that's never going to happen, right? No matter what, Doja's just going to sit in that corner and never, ever make a stance.
The big thing about that, though, for GODSENT is they went into that full Glock round and they got 4 kills. Yeah, no bomb plant, but now you know Gambit's money is low, right? If GODSENT get a reset or get around here, they could essentially reset onto the Gambit's economy and force him down to pistols pretty early on. Mo, he's already gone for the AWP and now he's got no cash left. Adren trying to contest the fountain as Mo peeks the connector, but GODSENT not giving them an inch. They're just going to fall back passive. In the meantime, Hampus puts pressure on the B-bomb site, but Gambit are biting. They're not going to be getting too aggressive themselves after that early presence shown. Although I say that, Dosia, look at this. He just walked right up short. Hampus, he's going to have no idea. Dosia misses the duel, though. And Hampus is now opened up for GODSENT. Yes, he takes a lot of damage, but that's a free pick.
Yeah, you can see Hobbit trying to hunt for this trade frag, assuming maybe there is a retreat. I'm going to anticipate a lot of aggressive op positions from Mo throughout overpass. I love what he can do over towards Monster. He even gets up inside of the short of B when needed. Obviously, this round he goes for connector control, and I feel like that's one of the safer duels because if you have teammates helping you out from bathrooms or long, you can also retreat off of it. But, oh man, he misses his chance. And he will decide to linger on this angle. Maybe hoping the T's assume he's left, but he gets his crosshair distracted, and Hampus clears him from the bathrooms. Now, we've got GODSENT grouping up and moving into the A site where Adren's already trying to hold, which he does with an opening frag, but Freddy's right there, and he too toppled after only one. It's an exchange back and forth that leaves Seized all alone, and Hampus trained in, but still misses the shot, so that's the chance. Although, incredibly outgunned here. Yeah,
1v3, they know exactly where he's coming from, and the bomb's down. He's limited for time. And already taking a very slow approach back towards long means that realistically this is not his round. He can hope for exits, hope to get some guns away from GODSENT, try and take a kill or two. And now we do go into the fact where, okay, Gambit's money, they could be severely impacted by this loss. You know, only $1,400 on that bonus as well. So it's very important that, yeah, okay, Seas can find a kill or two, take some money away from GODSENT, keep things level. They can come back in with a reset of their own. I imagine Gambit will be going for the force here. But a very safe play from GODSENT. They all exit towards the B-bomb site. No Monkey business coming out here for Seized, and they're going to hold on to 3 guns. So going forward, first round taken from GODSENT. What did Gambit have in the pocket? Not a lot of cash.
I can't help but feel like they'll force buy.
Yeah, definitely. Round this rifle, Dosia can even get an AWP, throw it over to Mo. We could see.
A little glass cannon action.
I like it.
He's actually going to opt not to. So we'll have some limited weaponry for the Gambit esports side to work with in the round. Obviously, Twist upgrades to an AWP, probably free of charge. And at this point, GODSENT have given themselves a very real chance. The opening bit of this overpass map.
Ooh.
Aggressive stance again coming in from Connector. This time it's Doja to lead the forefront, and again, Freddy B will shut down that push. So Mo has to retreat, and unfortunately for him, it's on a sidearm. Never gets the chance to upgrade, never gets the chance to fall back. Hampus with a spinal tap and a 5v3 again in the opening 30 seconds of the gun round.
Yeah, I think GODSENT are just reading this at this point. This is multiple times Gambit have gone for that early connect control, lost the man, and Mo has always fallen back from the same position. They were very ready for that play. GODSENT with 2 picks as well, and Gambit in a round where they're forcing up. They really needed this one if they want to keep themselves in the lead, sorry. With this, GODSENT are going to get the chance to pull it back to 3-3 if they can just close out these last 3 players on the Gambit side. It is going to be a B-side attack. Hobbit sat down here on short, but he's got players coming from the connector in the same time. This is going to be a very difficult engagement to take. There's the door open. Hobbit, he will have heard it, but he's focused down the tunnel, goes down to Freddy, and GODSENT another frag, and that's the B-side. That's probably the round, Connor.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, Adrenal tried to erect some kind of a defense, but only 1 headshot right away. Hampus cleared as his teammates take over the bomb site, planting the bomb in the process. And this does buy time for Seized to come in from behind, but Freddy B is already trying to post up on this position. Remember, he has 2 kills in the round already, and he's got himself tucked away in the cubby. And Seized, well, he'll redirect himself. Meaning Gambit have forfeited this round, allowing for GODSENT to double down and keeping 2 CT weapons in their hands for the next. Obviously, I would like to see these 2 players kind of unleashed in the next one. I'm presumably not going to see a buy-up around it, Hugo. So, I mean, aggression has been Gambit's game thus far, predominantly in through Connector. We've seen both Doja and Seized attempt that push, both of which were shut down. Even Mo, when he goes on that op, sure, he doesn't extend himself over towards the ladder, but he tries that first engagement. I mean, it has been Connector, Connector, and Connector. Gambit, I would hope in this round, try to change things up.
Yeah, put both guns on a bomb site, try and stack that up. Hope GODSENT kind of walk into your site. It's similar to when you see a full USP round and they'll stack just 5 players on B, for example. If GODSENT walk B, yeah, okay, maybe you can win the round. If they walk A, it's fine. You just save, don't give away any money, don't bother to challenge or even just go for exit. So I'd like to see both these guns together in tradable positions, and if they get lucky, maybe GODSENT will charge into them. But as you said, no force up around them from Gambit. 1 up towards A. That's a Dren going aggressive early on. We have the second one actually down on this B bomb site, on the boost in fact, and already GODSENT starting to make progress into the site. Brolin, he's going to clear out this entire thing, but Doja shuts him down with the P250, trades straight in from Doppler, but GODSENT, they might want to reconsider. They've seen a lot of players on this lower bomb site, and I don't think they want to commit. They already fall back. Adren gets caught trying to aggressively rotate, and it's too early on, because now GODSENT with that frag, they may just go into B knowing they have the man advantage.
CT is pushing into short, however. Of course, this is Mo, who upgraded into the MAC-10. Not all too much in the face of the Kalashnikovs and op, but a little bit more to work with, and he's in a prime position to use it if the T's come his way. However, we've seen the terrorists retreat, GODSENT heading back to their spawn, and with a minute still on the clock, there's no rush here. It's one of those situations where, obviously, if you overwhelm the bomb site immediately, you just flood forward, you keep yourselves committed, but having lost Brolin on his attempt to clear the stack, there is no reason to now rush. You go into damage control. You just pace yourselves, you reposition, and you hope that Gambit kind of overextends here or makes an ambitious mistake, which could be the case. You could see Mo just toying with the idea of rounding that corner. The op trained in on his head, and Seized as well is going to be given a chance to now shut down these T's. They can't get the trade straight away. He gets himself back behind the barrels. Hobbit now with the pistol comes in, and he is deleted instantly, but Seized can't connect the follow-up shots, and he's all alone. They know exactly where he is, and GODSENT will move their way forward, tying the game at 3.
Hampus having a sick game as well. 3 frags for him in that round. He's had a lot of impact so far this half. That's one good thing I like about the GODSENT side. Again, you know, a very firepower stacked team. We've got Brolin. You know, some people are saying this could be the best entry fragger in Sweden right now, at least, you know, maybe in the future. He's only 15 years old. Hampus, who a little more critiqued on this team, I've actually been really enjoying watching, and obviously the AWPing star of Twist. you know, always a man you should watch out for, especially on a map like this. We do have the buy coming in though for Gambit. It's very weak. Only one smoke across every player here pretty much, and no other utility, no kits in fact. This is a pretty limited buy, and Gambit have... I mean, I understand why they went for it at the very least. It is 3-3, but this is dangerous. If they lose this, GODSENT can run away with a 5-round T side before Gambit even see rifles again. Now GODSENT already early probe to B. We can see Hampus just walking right in. Great shot, and he can just fall back again. GODSENT continually doing this. Gambit not given an option to trade. C's going to try and get aggressive, but will they expect it? Hampus, no. And there's the trade back. Even more for Dosia down on B. Gambit somehow get ahead of that.
Yeah, Gambit have been very inclined once they've been into a man disadvantage to try and work that aggressive B site. You know, they're definitely not allowing for GODSENT to get away for free. Sometimes Gambit get entirely shut down after the fact, but in this case, we do see them reel it into their control, but only so slightly, Hugo. The health on Dosia and Seized is incredibly low, but it's not enough to stop him. Seized gets the headshot, leaving it onto Brolin and Twist, full belts of utility and the opening pick. So Adren's going to reposition, wrapping his way back through Bank. Bomb coming forward, slowly but surely. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be Brolin. As praised, that entry fragging capability can be hot. And he's done a very good job of using cover. Flashbangs on point. Adren still able to shut it down. So Twist now falls to the single player alive. And obviously, he now dies. Gambit back to the board here.
And that was a big round to win as well. Very little in terms of utility. Other than the rifles, it was nothing for Gambit. So to win that and even keep 3 players alive as well means their money can start to build up here on the CT side. GODSENT still able to buy after their streak of 3, though. So we do have the AWP back in the hands of Twist. And now fighting up against the AWP Mo as well that was saved in the previous round. So yeah, this is starting off quite well, starting off quite close. It's nice to see. As GODSENT, they're going to go right back into this one. Gambit not bringing too much aggression with the AWP this time. It's just Mo posted up on the long toilet, so he's not going to be challenging up into the fountain, more common position for the AWP to sit.
And I think it makes sense to leave him solo long and have that floater in the washrooms, because we've seen GODSENT more often than not in the opening few seconds of the round go for that kind of feel into the B bomb site, right? Think about last round, how Hampus walks up. Yeah. We've seen, of course, Brolin go for that. It reminds me a lot of actually how Madi from Heroic plays that B bomb site on overpass, but he plays it in late rounds. And I think he's one of actually the best B site entry fraggers out there. So it all comes down to timing. And right now, GODSENT's timing has been changed. They opt not to pry into the B site. That initial 3-man setup from Gambit has moved its way towards A, because without any sign of life from the T side, they've decided to try to get ahead of this push, which right now has 4 players working forward, but the bomb, Hugo, has been left behind, so no commitments can be made.
You can see Twist's face there on the cam, looking pretty angry after missing that jumping shot. Mo went for it. And Twist not going to be able to get the kill, so GODSENT, an opportunity for a pick goes away. We may actually see a rotate down to B, in fact, already. Twist beginning to probe that part of the map, maybe catch an aggressive player from Gambit if that has come through. But actually, we have another man moving up to this site, so Gambit, pretty heavy stack here for the time being. Hobbit's definitely reconsidering it as well, sitting in heaven. GODSENT, no information, 30 seconds left, they've got to go. Good tag from Twist with the AWP, and Mo gets tagged up, but still, he's got the AWP to respond. Misses the shot to Hampus. Caesar's going to start things off on the CT side, trades back in, but they'll favor GODSENT. 3v3 bomb, needing to go down right now. They're just running out of time. Twist following up to the truck, and Hobbit, he needs to stop hitting this whole operation right now. His team are dead, and he's just going to run away. He's, I think, lost this round. GODSENT bomb plant in, and a 1v3 for Hobbit with no kit.
Yeah, not trying to sneak through the smoke, will be redirected, attempts the wall bang, predicts the peek from Hampus. Now that's an opening back into the round. I think you could argue for the 1 versus 2. So as he grabs the AK and gets himself closer to the site, Disco Doplin's been spotted at a distance, and Hobbit still continues on. Twist with the op, instantly deletes him. Great headshot with the sniper, plays at a range to his strength, and ties up things again. 4-4 the score, Hugo. We've got GODSENT back in action.
Yeah, may have missed the opening shot, but followed up with 3 kills in that round. So crucial whenever they came down to the last few seconds. Twist steps up, big round for him. And yeah, that's going to hurt Gambit quite a lot. It's a reset coming in. It's the money going out the window, and it's no save again. So we don't even have rifles to fall back on, like that one round where we saw the 2 rifles manage to bring it down into 1v2 on that B site, 1v3. Yep. So some damage done, but this time it won't be the case because Gambit are already on pistols. Couple of flashbangs to allow for some aggression on the CT side, but that won't be towards connector. GODSENT had a lot of control right there.
Yeah, they're going to go into the short, which I think is one of the better places to put these pistols. However, Disco Doppler hears the footsteps, bit of a ruckus being made, and Hobbit now fully flashed. The grenades are fantastic from GODSENT. They allow that map control to go into the hands of Gambit, and then they snap back right into it. Clearing out 2, putting themselves into such a massive advantage that you can now throw Brolin on that Mac 10 into the forefront. Hoppus as well trying to control the graffiti, and this B site's just going to crumble one by one. Easy conversion point from GODSENT. One of the cleanest we've seen all game so far.
Yeah, always nice to take a flawless round just to keep your confidence flowing. Adren going to try and look for exits on the back of this B site, but not going to happen. GODSENT, even if they allow him to get one, they'll probably be grouped up enough to trade things back. Freddy spotted and somehow removed. Not going to be ready for that angle, so nice position from Adren, but it will be no more. They do not want to allow him to save that gun. Doppler moves in, and the cleanup crew in full effect. GODSENT, 5 rounds here on this T side. Leading things up is, again, Gambit. Very limited money. I would not like to see a buy here. We've already had one of them. I guess it worked out, but this time they have even less. So half buy coming in, pistols, armor, and Mo still saving for that AWP. So definitely the good decision to make for Gambit.
Yeah, unfortunately for Gambit, right, it's like you're kind of back and forth with it. You've had some rounds where GODSENT aren't able to cleanly convert. You know that their economy was in question a couple of times, but now you have to realize, like, if you continue to try and force the issue, GODSENT are going to have a fantastic T-side.
See, it always favors the T-side when you have these trades back and forth, because not only do you have the ability of bomb plants in lost rounds, but also guns are cheaper, you don't have to buy kits. Everything is less expensive on the T-side, and so it can be dangerous, especially towards a connector here. Pistols not having too much effect. It's Adren finding one, but double trade back up for GODSENT leaves them in the man advantage once again.
And we can see GODSENT just removing the bomb from the play early at this round, pushing it back into spawn, taking the little bits of map control they can, and knowing that connector was clear as they also have players on short means that now pushing 2 through Monster allows for them to split into the B site. But Doja, well, he's not going to let them play their game. Unfortunately for him, his push is then slain, and it is the 3v2 here. So GODSENT going through the motions. They've lost the back control of this push, meaning Mo works his way in through connector. Grabs the Mac 10. And Twist gives cover. Luckily for him, there's a door in the way, and the flashbang doesn't come outwards.
No. Oh, it's a big miss. But, oh, Twist! He just gets ducked by Seized under his crosshair. Hampers will trade it back, but Mo still turn this into a 1v1. No health, but there's an AWP on the floor, and who else would you want to give it to? Freddy B just trying to retreat, trying to stay alive, play the time on the bomb, because no kit he knows. As Gambit are on the eco, Mo going to move back in, and he finds the shot. Gambit on the pistol round. They somehow pick it up, Connor. No idea how that works.
That's so sick. I mean, when you think, of course, like obviously with the investment coming into it and sitting in a 2 versus 3, because you have players right behind the B bomb site, there's no reason not to go for it. You still had the flashbang, which was meant to come out through the window, and that would have allowed for you to at least pry into the short control. But, of course, this was Hoppus trading out the frags inside connector. This is what shut players down early on. What was really nice was the way Seized was able to just crouch beneath the scope of the sniper, put that into the hands of Mo, and really it was the shadow that gave Mo the ability to really clutch in that 1v1. You could see the player rounding the corner. He knew he had jumped down into the water somewhere, and with that bit of an information, Mo's not going to miss the shot. And that right there is an opening back into the round. Tied up at 5 apiece, double op setup straight from Gambit. And while they do throw one player down through connector, he's immediately reeling his way back into A. That's Adren, alone on the A site, now tasked with holding off in the bathrooms. Remember, nobody there to trade him. It's a strong B site defense from Gambit yet again.
But GODSENT have been putting so much pressure on this side of the map anyway, it does make some sense. Adren even going to defend it alone on A, as you said. No issue with getting Freddy B in that engagement, so already the man advantage and at no cost of health as well, so we won't even need reinforcements towards this side of the map. Mo comes on by anyway, just boosting it a little bit. It's GODSENT. They refigure what they want to do, working back up through short. Giving up connector as well. One man down towards B, that's Hampers. He's been tagged on very, very low by the nades and the spam of Gambit, sorry, so GODSENT already quite a disadvantage, considerably in fact. As they look back towards A, again, slow-paced approach. They go for this the same way they went for their last A site take. It was only 15 seconds when that bomb actually went down, so very dangerous when you've already lost a man, and Gambit can kind of stack players exactly where they want to. They can put 2 players on the A site without too much worry. So GODSENT going to have a very difficult time of getting back into this round, but here they go up towards A.
As long as Mo doesn't get too distracted with Long, he should be able to shut down some of these players on the push, although they are getting incredibly close now. He does spot Brolin, but there's already players on the site, and he misses his chance at the player in the back. It is, in fact, the 3 versus 3, but the health advantage towards Seized and Co. Gambit on the retake. And these terrorists now flood back into the washrooms with no long control in the after plant. They are all opting in, and Disco Doplin goes for the mind games. He's going to just commit himself to the flower planter. So Doja, since they're already here quite quickly, no real time shaved off on the retake, they will opt to get that information first, but nothing's been offered at all until Hampus nearly loses himself. Disco's still committed to the cubby. He's yet to strike. Now he stands and he's instantly denied. 1 versus 2 and he takes it. Twist lines him up and GODSENT have a lead.
Sick round there by GODSENT. Sick afterplan as well. Not only did it take Gambit so long to get back into that site to even try and find the pick, but as you said, the position of Doplin was so good because even though he baits his team essentially and hides, as soon as he shows presence, Twist can just instantly re-peek at no danger.
Yep.
All the attraction is devoted over towards Doplin in that corner. So Gambit, again, losing out in an afterplant situation. They may have won the force, but they're not going to be able to win the diffuse at least. So GODSENT back in the lead. This is so back and forth, and Gambit now on pistols again. 1 AWP. I mean, I don't even want to count them out at this point. We've seen crazier things happen.
It's the panic position, really, that we see there from Disco Doplin, right? It's one of those moments and one of those spots that when you have a player emerge from that planter, you know that Gambit are making a call for everyone to try and trade him.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone's calling for a solution to Adren because he's got 3 frags in the round. He started off with a pistol here, Hugo. I'm expecting, if anything, okay, Mo comes to life, right? He is tasked with that 1 single op in the round. But no, it's a free robbery. Gambit back in action again with nothing to work off of.
And the most ironic part about that is it's Connector. The whole place that GODSENT have been controlling the entire game. Gambit have had no leeway in Connector. They've always lost the trades there. They've always lost control. Adren eventually going to get caught, so he won't find that 4th kill, but it doesn't matter because it's a 1-on-5. Doplin not going to be able to get anything more. And that's Gambit winning another pistol round. These are rounds that GODSENT can't let slip. Let's take away these 2 pistol rounds. GODSENT would have run away with a half.
Yeah, and the difference is last time Gambit robs a round like that, we see GODSENT actually come in with a full buy enough, right? There's some limitations in grenades, but they win it back. We get this back and forth type scenario. For Gambit to do it a second time, the result now nets them what should be a free round.
Yeah.
Obviously, GODSENT can do to Gambit what was done to them, but we'll have to see if that actually happens, because Gambit have proven they can do it. GODSENT have yet to be in this position and walk away with the win. But Adren, feeling the aggression, feeling it flow through him, will decide to fall off, not wanting to offer up an AK because he knows what that can do.
Yeah, especially when GODSENT has such a limited weaponry in this round. He's already going to kick things off again, having a big one, taking down Twist up on short, and GODSENT will retaliate by sending a very fast long approach here with a bomb. Still 2 players far from committed to this A site, so this is dangerous for GODSENT. They're stuck behind enemy lines here, but they still win the duel. C's dead. Trade back from Mo with the AWP and 2 kills from him as well. Looking for a third as GODSENT, they're not trying to slow down on short. They're making so much noise, and it's so easy for Mo. 3 kills on the bomb site and 7 rounds in the hands of Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that GODSENT just try to go for a faster round in that instance, right? We see that flood up from Connector. They're giving some space on bathrooms, and they think to themselves, like, if we take long control now, that's going to push Gambit back into the A site, possibly rotating players upwards. You know that when you exit out from Connector, you can already use that to rotate back down. But it was Mo stationed within the bomb site with his head on a swivel, stood there like a turret, and took down 3.
And that position is one that Mo uses a lot with the AWP. And he's one of the few AWPers I actually see get away with like more than 1 kill, because that's always a one-and-done position with a rifle. But with the AWP, he just manages to do so much work. Talking of which, Adren joining the party once again. He's had a fantastic map so far. 2 more kills. It's only ecoing players on GODSENT, but still, Gambit again showing they're having no trouble with dealing with pistols. It's actually more dangerous when they're on them themselves. Only 1 frag coming out for Hampus, and again, a clean round from Gambit taken. This is this is starting to fall back in the favor of Gambit. Again, it makes you question, right? Take away these pistol round wins from from Gambit, and how is this half gone?
It would have gone into the pocket of GODSENT, I'd argue.
Yeah.
But they've still got a little fight in them. Freddy Beat bites back. Stops the push from Adren. Although we've seen Gambit now starting to pick up the pace, right? I think it's like they realize they've got GODSENT kind of against the ropes towards the end of this half, and they want to ensure that they don't let off the gas pedal. They're going to continue to increase the tempo, continue to surge forward, but Hobbit has got him. 8-6, could be shooting for a 9th here, and that would honestly be one hell of a recovery from Gambit.
Yeah.
GODSENT will have a chance in this final round as they do get the bye. But it's been quite some time since we've seen them cleanly winning rounds. So I would argue that obviously, considering the position Gambit were once in, they've definitely made something this half. And I think they're starting to come into the form that some would have expected.
Yeah, it's nice to see this team have some life as well. Obviously, we're very early on into this series, but there were always two question marks. These were teams with big question marks. Yes, I think they can go far in this tournament, but even so, it's kind of who shows up, right?
Yeah.
Especially coming into a game like this where we have a lot of individual talent, and again, you know, two rosters that have been shaky in the past and have definitely made changes as of late. But GODSENT fast into B apparently. Flash in, Dosia on the receiving end. It's the AWP of Hobbit now down here on the B site. He's going to be able to start off with one. Will he expect the short push? It's no. Freddy shooting in through the smoke, and GODSENT back into a 3-on-3 as a bomb goes down.
Yeah, they've got that plant seized, toying with the idea of pushing before his team is ready, and he doesn't even have his M4 up. Could argue a bit of a mistake, but Disco now trains in on Heaven. Mo peeks his head round and doesn't get the op shot off right away. So the terrorists using this opportunity to push up into the graffiti, and Freddy secures the backlines. They know exactly where Mo is at. This is going to be an incredibly difficult clutch attempt, but he's going to go for it. It's the 15th round of the half. Why the hell not? Disco Doppelin pinned into the corner. Mo trying to pummel these shots off, but he's hitting nothing until finally he topples at least one. But time, the biggest issue, forces his hand, and there we have it. Close as could be. GODSENT get the last.
And Hampus ending the half with 18 kills there on the T side. Really good game from him so far. I think it's a shame to see Brolin so quiet sitting at the bottom with 6, because he's kind of the guy you would depend on, especially coming into a map like this. Him and Twist are the guys I really expect to see at the top of the board. So Hampus having a great game. Brolin definitely needs to step it up, but again, he is definitely one of the more inexperienced players on this team.
Yeah.
If you're unaware, only 15 years old. So, you know, pressure is obviously going to affect him a whole lot more than the likes of some of these players who definitely have experience playing on an international level.
I mean, man, I couldn't even handle homework at 15 years old. This kid's up here playing against, you know, what was once the major champions.
Yeah.
Like, this is such an incredible test. I don't blame him. He's in a very tough spot. Obviously, it would be nice to see him succeed and kind of, you know, back up some of the expectations and statements that have been made about him. But there is still time. He will now be on the receiving end of affairs. Gambit to the T side, already into short, already working their way into the B site, where in fact Freddy sits back on graffiti. He's calling for reinforcements, and Disco does come down, but they are sectioned off one side each. And the Gush, Hugo, instantly weakens GODSENT. It's a 5v5 retake attempt, and they might as well throw what they've got.
This site is so hard to retake at the best of times as well. GODSENT, wrong setup here on the pistol. It was just a gamble stack, but Gambit have done it well enough. Good setup, at least in the post plant as well. They know everyone's coming from the CT spawn, so they're all set up exactly for that push starting to come in for these CTs, but it is getting decimated. One frag is all that GODSENT will find in that round, and Mo takes 3 himself.
Yeah, that's 7 frags within the pistol rounds for Mo. So pistol rounds have been his realm, which I'm all for. Obviously, if you're good with an op, you should be good with pistols, Hugo.
Hand in hand, they say. But yeah, this is starting to look a little more dangerous now for GODSENT. Gambit running away with the second pistol round of this map as well, and considering they're forced by success, even if GODSENT do manage to put them down to an eco, it's always on the cards for Gambit. A bit of a faster B approach once again, as we have 3 MAC-10s, and GODSENT, how much can they really do against this push?
Well, they'll try to get Disco into short. Unfortunately for him, Gambit have entirely circumvented this push. They've gone straight into the B site. They've put down the utility. They've used the Molotov as well to convince him off of this. Now, once the fire fades, Doja might go through. That's going to be Disco's chance to stop him. But in fact, he's given the back of Doja and the kill. It's a man advantage turn 2 now as Freddy chimes in with a frag of his own. Adren's MAC-10 starts to slay, but Disco and Brolin shut down another one. This is starting to fall to pieces, one after another. The terrorists drop it. It's all on Mo now. 15 HP, not nearly enough, as GODSENT create the upset. What was that?
And there is Brolin stepping up. 3 kills on that second round of the half to pull things back up for GODSENT. That's an important round to win, because Gambit easily running away with a 6-round streak. Take into account they won, you know, if they win both pistols and conversions, that's a huge boost to their score. So now GODSENT shutting that down, and now Gambit, I think they're going to buy here. This is Gambit after all.
They absolutely could, but I'd like to see them not do what just happened there, which was a complete all-in on Monster, right? You saw some of those terrorists, once they realized there was grenades in their face, once they weren't able to get graffiti control right away and they fell into the man disadvantage, they thought it'd be a great idea to move back through Monster into short, which would make sense, except for the fact that they've given up that portion of the map from the very beginning. GODSENT were already positioned in there, they had reinforcements come down through connector, and they knew, of course, that someone might come from behind. They shut it down, they get an additional gun, and at that point they just swarm what was the weakest position in the afterplant. Gambit stuck on the back of Monster.
Well, GODSENT back in this game, at least keeping it close for now. It's Gambit slowing down the pace with this force buy. No more B rushes for them, at least for the time being, but that is one thing they're known for on this exact map. And GODSENT 2 towards B.
I mean, it's not surprising to me to watch Gambit try to just go for sheer aggression right away, because on the CT side, that's what they wanted to do in the opening 3-4 gun rounds, right? We consistently saw those connector pushes, and it wasn't until they'd been convinced that they weren't going to be afforded that type of real estate until they changed things up and were able to succeed. But Freddie B, trade after 1, and Hoppus gets none.
2 for Hobbit as well on the CZ, so straight into the site. Gambit take both players. They expect a third, hence a slow pace into the bomb site. But now with the plant coming in, even though a couple of players in Gambit are tagged up, Doshi's still going to follow up. Brolin caught, trying to rotate back down, and GODSENT, they're relegated to 2. They've got to go quickly as well. They do have the kit to work with on Doppler, but Gambit is not giving them any engagement. Seized, playing around the edges of the smoke, aggressive in the after plant as well, but they may not expect this position. They're focused so tunnel vision on the site. Seized, more damage, but the reload coming in on the peak. It doesn't matter. Hobbit has his back for 1. Trade coming in as well, and Dosia keeps things in check. So Gambit, a 10th round on the board. The force buy, no surprise, Connor, works out.
Yeah. Very well done. I mean, and the difference in that situation is that GODSENT, unfortunately for them, have no short control in the retake attempt, right? They all try to come flying back forward from the same position, the same direction, and Gambit just lock it down.
Same as the pistol as well. We looked at the exact same rotation. They went for that full B rotate through CT spawn, and Gambit lost 1 player.
Yep, no connector control at the beginning of the round. Means that GODSENT aren't willing to opt for that kind of split retake attempt. It's very one-directional, and it's very much unsuccessful. But Hoppus will have a scout, so maybe GODSENT work their magic yet again. They have actually found the opening as Disco gets aggressive.
These are dangerous rounds on overpass, but the scout's not going to have any effect despite the gun being picked up by Doppler and everyone else is getting decked. GODSENT left now to 2, and Gambit, they've got the A site for free. They can just run up. We're going to see Mo reach it before Freddie B can, and although the bomb is delayed, that only just leaving playground, still, this shouldn't be a worry. Gambit have the power to take down Freddie B and Disco Doppler on the site, and even when they spot both players, they can opt to rotate, but no need, Connor.
Yeah, you're not given the chance to boost.
Oh my god, look at this. Yeah. They're just chasing Freddie B down. He's going to get away with a gun, but small consolation if I say so myself.
Yeah, so be it. You lose that MAC-10. Freddie B still being hunted here.
Oh, yeah.
As we also watch Adren wrap back through T-spawn. So they definitely want to take this away from him, strip any chance of his success in the next. And they will. Adren with another one. Really stepping up in that round. 3 frags for him.
I want to see the score, but 25 kills for Adren. He is having an insane game right now. He is stepping up beyond his team.
Well, that was the thing, right? Is when we saw Gambit kind of going through these trials and tribulations of in-game leadership and who was going to take that burden. We saw Adren really kind of drop off, right? Adren most consistent. And there was times where that just didn't happen anymore. And I think that was a part of Gambit that was instrumental to their success around that Krakow era. So I'm all for kind of freeing him, right? Giving him the ability to unleash. Here today, we're getting quite the show. But versus the USPs in single flashbang, unfortunately for GODSENT, they've gambled incorrectly. And sometimes that's how gambling works. Nothing but losses in the 20th round of this map.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit really not showing much on this T side, but it's working. It's a fantastic way of saving strats, right? They're just walking into B and winning every single T round. It's like GODSENT can't really hold back against this push. And again, when you have a full USP round, even if they were stacked on the site, I don't expect to see too much. GODSENT not really getting any damage done here. Brolin may be able to catch a man moving down the connector if Seas makes noise, but even then, that's optimistic. And no, not even going to work. Gambit run away with 12 rounds, a flawless one at that. And GODSENT, they need this buy, Connor. Yep. They need to take this round. Otherwise, this game may be running away before they can even do anything to stop it.
What I like about what we've seen from Gambit on this T side, too, is like obviously you win your pistol round quite convincingly. The second round, you're actually shut down. And your play set going into that was just sheer aggression to the B site, right? They actually have not changed up the tempo whatsoever. They've continued with that aggression over and over. And what that tells us is that obviously that one first loss, your first, sample of a T side, and you get shut down by a force buy, yet they haven't allowed it to scare them. They've continued their game plan. They've continued this pace. They think that it's within this kind of tempo they can exploit GODSENT and just bully them, which they have. I mean, look at the way C's just infiltrate short. He's now committed to a crucial portion of the map. He's going to be able to hear audio information within B. And now this is the kind of round, knowing GODSENT are back in with guns, that you take your time with it, right?
And it's a change of setup, right? When we see Gambit lose a player on their CT side, on the A site, it would always be them getting aggressive towards B short. And with that now position taken by Seized, say Gambit get a pick to GODSENT on A, if they try and get aggressive down through B short, Seized is just ready for it. He's instantly going to be able to refrag that back. So it's kind of the setup here on the T side from Gambit is far more prepared for failure than GODSENT really was. But Twist, not looking for failure, looking for success. He's already taken one trade, right back in, but a great flashbang by Brolin. Not the shot to follow up though, Mo low, and he's going to get finished off as well. Hobbit still able to keep things in check, and Gambit back down to a 3-on-3. GODSENT panicking here on the rotations, not sure where this bomb is committing to. With this position taken by C, snuck into B after Freddy B rotated out. This could be everything they need, and it is.
Yep, that's that late lurk play, right? Comes in at a superb time. However, Molotov blocked by the face, and Hoppus erases Seized. He burns alive, however, and that's going to put all the pressure onto Disco Doppelin. 30 seconds as the bomb goes down, but he's got a flank coming in from behind, and he never will realize this. He'll never see it coming. He's hoping that the exit off the site gets him the frag, but it's in fact the knife, the shank, the backstab. Adren with an injection of cash, and Gambit a 5-point lead.
And there's the money gone from GODSENT once again, and I feel like that's a story we've been saying every single time. Constant resets and never winning these pistol rounds either for GODSENT, so it's back down to Armor, CZs, Deagles, and the likes, but Gambit with a fantastic second half, not dropping the ball at all. And this definitely shows that this series could be over faster than we expected, you know. Obviously, we are very early days, and we've got to go to GODSENT's map pick after this, but if Gambit are looking this strong and GODSENT aren't able to fight back, then who knows what could come on Inferno. But for now, it's Hobbit setting fire to GODSENT in the connector. 2 frags from him. Adren going to follow up, and the trade's still kept in favor of Gambit as, again, GODSENT really in a panic mode. Hampus will be able to pick up a Deeg, and maybe he can grab the gun, but you can already see Adren moving back in with Cease to regain control of that map as Doja re-flanks round through long, and awkward spray, but gets away with it. It's just Freddy B left now, and desperation play is going to be needed.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Gambit, they've got the route towards the A site open. They're just going to group themselves together with connector control on top of it, right? If connector wasn't in their pocket, then maybe they'd continue to play slow here, but I'm assuming Cease joins forces after he moves past the pile of corpses, and we'll have Gambit take this round. They are definitely starting to piece things together on the T side. I mean, we haven't seen GODSENT really impactful since that first half.
No. Yeah.
Or the second round. Right.
Well, yeah.
Second side of that force buy, they've disappeared.
This is this is not the GODSENT that we know and love, but again, we've got underperformance from a couple of the players on this team, which is a shame. Maybe things can change as we go forward, but for now, it won't be the case. 14 rounds taken. Gambit on the edge of victory in their map pick here on Overpass, and GODSENT with little to show for it in that previous round. We're going to have at least the double up here, the full rifles, and everything they could have dreamed for, so GODSENT not limited by the buy this time. But again, you know, a huge comeback needed here from GODSENT. They're going to need 8 rounds if they want to take this in regulation without giving a single one over to Gambit. That's always a hard score to fight back against. Mo back on the AWP, and he's been firing off on all cylinders as well. That was one of the win conditions you said that Gambit needed coming into this game, and it certainly happened.
The double op setup from GODSENT, though, that could be enough to start slowing things down, right? Think back at the pace here that Gambit's been throwing. Doja moving forward off of the flashes. Like, that's the kind of play style that can be caught off guard and punished by the double ops. However, if the supporting grenades behind their initial pushes are also successful, then we could catch those oppers in the open. But we get to this point, minute 20, 5v5, finally turned to the 4 as Brolin opens up. Now, he is going to keep himself committed to the bathrooms, and we could watch Gambit actually commit into B. They've got the bomb pushed up towards Monster. Freddy's going to spot it, dinking Hobbit in the process, and that's now going to make things incredibly difficult. Disco and Hampus come back from short, and Seized slams the fadeaway. That's a crucial headshot. Nearly enough to convince Mo back into the bomb site. Remember, he has full health, and he'd love to topple another, which he does. It is Gambit back in control. They've got the 4v3, and they have enough time where they don't need to overextend or rush this process. You can see bomb towards spawn, and Seized working his way forward into the weights of Disco Doppelin.
Yeah, this is a good position to get a free kill either way. Well, Seized will expect it because there's no one here to trade him. That's the big thing. If Disco Doppler can take this frag and fall back before Seized has a teammate to come in to trade, that is perfect. That's everything GODSENT need to make this a 3-on-3 once again. He spots the arm, and there it is. Damage done, but he doesn't find the kill. Seized going to be able to get away, and the door open. Dosia, great timing from Gambit. Great teamwork. As he takes that frag, Seized may be low, but Gambit have a double-man advantage now, running towards the A site, and GODSENT have got the wrong read. They've already rotated Twist off of this one, and he's going to be regretting that decision. GODSENT have to save here. They cannot go for this round as a bomb gets planted on A.
Absolutely not. Unfortunately for GODSENT, they had multiple openings into this round, most notably before Hampus peeks into Mo, and then after the fact, of course, when we see Seized survive. Very nicely done by Doja to swing that door wide. And unfortunately for GODSENT, I understand why they call the B rotate, right? You see Seized setting a grenade in from short. You have no information on Monster, where you've already seen 2 players try to pry in from, and Doja takes you from connector.
Yeah.
So based off of numbers, you've seen 2 Monster, a player inside of short setting an execution, and a support player inside connector. That screams B.
And you even won your A duel as well, which may have forced Gambit off, right? We saw Brolin get that first pick up on Toilet. So, yeah, it just gives him a bit more convincing that is that site. And Brolin, he's doing great work on the exits, at least. Him and Twist find all 5 kills between them, holding on to their double AWP setup. But again, it's Gambit still with the money to reinvest. We've got 13,000 on Hobbit before the buy. They have no worries here, Connor. They can still afford. So 15-8. GODSENT do damage at the very least, but they're going to need a hell of a lot more of that than that. Still a couple of M4s in play as well. And again, you know, this is a good buy for GODSENT. There's definitely not a bad amount of investment coming through, but it's just what can they get done with it? Because this second half, as you said, aside from that force, has been unsuccessful. And Gambit running back towards B, speeding up the pace once again.
Yeah, Hampus is going to peek into the fire. Nearly gets himself too. Actually, the Molotov follows suit, but then he's caught with nothing in hand. So Adren drops the body, wiggles this back into a winnable situation for Gambit as they do take over this B site. They've got the player wrapping downwards. That's Mo to clear beneath, and the Molotov blocks them off in above. The frag to follow suit, and the Flames won't creep to the feet of Twist, so he can just wait for his teammates to get into position. They could boost over the wall, or they could just walk forward here, unannounced, but they will use grenades. And that's going to put Seized in a tricky spot because he's going to watch above. Mo tagged up, first point of contact, doesn't get an additional kill, but deals the damage. Seized with a discipline. He lines up 2, only takes the first as Twist trades, leaving it on Adren, and now the CT's already on this bomb, but he goes bouncing inwards, needs to spray it. Brolin's going to stick this, and GODSENT win the round.
Wow, how close can it get? Adren even takes both kills as they leave, and actually that will have monumental impact to this economy now for GODSENT. They lose that double AWP setup, Connor. They lose all the rifles. They've got to rebuy them. So you can see the face of frustration there from Brolin. Yes, he won the defuse, but GODSENT, they're still in a sticky spot. They're not out of the woods just yet. And I feel like an afterplant the Gambit definitely shouldn't have lost. You know, with Mo playing so aggressively there, I was surprised considering he was low. And C's unable to trade that, at least get 2 kills from his spot, despite him playing the situation well, just not being able to hit the shots. GODSENT, though, buy back up, and they're trying to force a frag. Brolin's getting aggressive. We've not seen much of this. And Mo's already going to get decked by Disco Doppler. As he falls back, Brolin holds the position. And support from Hampus up on long. This is a good setup from GODSENT, but again, they can't afford to be too cocky. They have this pick. They don't need to get traded back, and that's exactly what Adren's trying to do. Follow up as well from Doja. And damage done, but Hampus going to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, Brolin punished for the re-aggression. That then puts Hampus in a position where, like, does he overextend now? Like, do you accept the fact that you've lost your 5v4, or do you try to continue onwards to the man advantage? In this case, they have 0 margin of error to play off of. 6 rounds consecutive is what the Swedes will need, and Hampus comes back in with a clean execution of Seized. Now, he is spotting targets, and that baits him inwards. It's over towards the bathrooms that Disco gets away. 9 points of health, just barely escapes death in that situation. And Gambit down by 1. Both players tagged. They've got grenades to work and execute, but they've already been surrounded. Look at the position from Twist. He will lock down connector, but can Doja box his way out of this?
Oh, no, that's a big miss. Disco Doppler given a second chance at life, and time is low as well. That pick would have meant the world to Gambit. They've now got to clear out Freddie B on the back of truck as Doppler holds the cross with him. Dosia just missing the angle as he looks away. Luckily enough for him, Freddie B not going for the wide face. He's just trying to play the time. Disco Doppler again a 1-for-1, and now it is just Adren trying to pull out this clutch, trying to pull out the 1v3 to save this game and keep it in the hands of Gambit. He sees the shadow. He knows Freddie B's on the corner. He tries to chase as well, but he's running out of time, and Freddie B going to shut him down. So GODSENT, again, it always seems like it's over, but they keep clawing themselves back in. They don't want to throw away this map just yet.
Yeah, really nicely done there by Freddy to work his positioning, right? You can see Adren trying to hunt out that position, nearly walks his way over to the bank. But for the first time in the first map of this series, we will have a tactical pause. Now, obviously, I believe Gambit should still have some cash to work off of.
They do.
So they're not in that kind of desperate position where GODSENT will get very close to the comeback. But you want to cool off your jets before that opportunity even arises. So very well-timed pause. I am all for it. And have to remember, right, like you said, GODSENT have getting themselves into an advantage just to lose it, and then it's in those very, very back-and-forth type moments that they are starting to come out on top. Obviously, if Doja drops Hampus right away, that's a completely different outcome on the A site. I think that both players flood forward, you clear Freddy off of the truck, and even if that frag goes traded, then you've got a 1v1 post plant, and you're good to rock and roll. But here we go. 5 more. GODSENT will try as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing a good job a couple of rounds in a row, and even though they've been fighting against deficits with their money never being as good as Gambit, they've actually been getting out with these rounds. So it's impressive stuff from GODSENT, but how long can they keep this going? How consistent can they be? Gambit, big fans of the connector, are back down there with a smoke in place. Hampus looking to challenge, and as that fades, who will get the drop first? Who will be ready for this? It's Hampus with one. Can he follow up? Good spray control, but he won't be able to finish off Adren, who puts things back into perspective. A 4-on-4, and Gambit just with that, they give up connector. They want nothing to do with that. Although Adren commits a little bit, his teammates already fallen out, and Gambit have lost another man down to a 3-on-4.
Disco continues to pry into this setup, and he does catch Doja off guard. I think that's happened too often so far on Overpass. Players caught. Ooh. And now he actually blindsides Adren. Can't seal the deal as Mo cuts him down and will attempt his best in a 1 versus 4. Twist spots him, reconfirming that the Kazakhstani Opper is standing towards the party. But what are his options here? He can always double back all the way towards B, and so long as he actually passes the short tunnel, he could find that bomb site nearly open. However, 30 seconds, dwindling economy, I'd say you make the save.
Yeah. Lost bonus not built up enough to really justify going for this again. You know, you're never going to get enough to justify an AWP with armor. And yeah, looking at this money, I wouldn't be surprised if Gambit even buy around this, right? Because we're going to have Adren with, 4,000. We're going to have Doja with 4,000. Then we got an AWP. Three rifles and 2 pistols or 2 SMGs is certainly enough to get the job done for a team like Gambit. We already talk about their fast B approaches. But with GODSENT, now 3 rounds in a row, 3 players surviving. Molotovs are going to be a factor on the CT side, and that's something that has shut down Gambit in the past, especially Hampus on that lower bomb site. We'll see how Gambit approach the money, though, how they make their decision, because things are starting to get a lot closer than they would have liked.
And the thing is, right, there's obviously only 4 rounds left, so it's not as though you now still have 8 to work with, where you can just throw in a random Hail Mary type round and charge something aggressively, which we've seen more so from Gambit than GODSENT. But there is still that wiggle room, and this is the kind of round where you have a single Opper and a talented Opper, right, surrounded by pistol players. How many times, Hugo, have we seen these situations where it's like they're making it happen? The comeback is rolling forward, but oh right, they've got CZs, and then the map falls short, right? Yeah. So it's like these are the scary rounds. This is where GODSENT just kind of need to reel everybody back onto the same page and make sure that you're not making any mistakes. Because I do honestly believe Gambit is still that level of team where if you give them an opening, they'll take it. And they'll never look back.
I really want to see what they've done with the money here, because they were very delayed on even buying a pistol, so clearly wanting to work out how they want to approach this, and it will be that buy coming through. Actually, only 1 rifle alongside. That's onto Adren. So definitely a good decision to make, considering he's had a fantastic game so far. But again, aggressive positioning from GODSENT. Will it be expected? That's a question, because Hampus is tagged up early on. Brolin running through the molly. That'll be heard. Gambit with a lot of information. They should be able to take some kind of damage here, but they're just not being able to. Brolin with 2 before his departure. And Twist is still here with the AWP. And GODSENT even have Hampus flanking long. This is so aggressive, considering Gambit, still have a man disadvantage. GODSENT don't need to throw this in, but look at Hampus' position. He could shut this whole thing down.
Oh, but he's caught. Doja with the presence of mind to check the backside, but Mo walks into Twist, and the sniper will get the man advantage back for GODSENT. Gambit have long control for now, and there's nobody actually guarding this. Look at the position from Twist as he doubles back towards Dumpster. Like, this was their moment to strike. Had they just put the pedal to the metal, they would have hit that A bomb site before any defense could be in their way. They could still move, right? We obviously have GODSENT with a long rotation away. Disco Doppelin back towards T-spawn. We've got Freddy B inside short water. I mean, so long as they can get past Twist, we can watch Gambit actually shave a lot of time off of the clock in the post plant. And to me, this looks like Twist is just going to offer up half the bomb site. We could very well watch him wait for his teammates to arrive before they try to force the issue. And with 2 kits, they could work the retake, but this is maybe giving Gambit too much respect here.
We can already see Doppler moving up. They know this is 15 seconds left. Gambit have to commit to this bomb site. So Twist needs a frag here, and he gets it. C's dead, now leaves Dosio in a 1-on-3, and with the bomb in the open, Twist holding it down. This should be their round. It is. GODSENT. I don't even know how he gets both kills there.
I don't understand why Seized gives him the kill. You've got the bomb plant, you've got half of the site already in your control, and you have the bomb on your back. You walk into the AWP, forcing Doja to then come forward. That's a mistake by Seized. Unfortunate too, right? Because again, we could have had that 2 versus 3 post-plant situation. You know long is entirely clear. Worst case scenario, you go clear out bathrooms and you just have to be guarding of the flank. I mean, the utility was low for GODSENT. They had 1 smoke they could have thrown on top of bomb, but I mean, you need the plant in that instance. Look at the buy that nets Gambit. This could have been full belts of utility working with it, but instead, they will go for the fast clash straight towards the B site. This is what we're talking about. Another just gunfight looking to rock GODSENT, and they get rocked themselves, knocked out cold at the entry of the bomb sites. This is GODSENT through and through.
The crazy thing about this is last time I saw GODSENT play overpass, at least against Na'Vi, it was the ECS qualifiers. And I remember there were 2 12-3 halves from both teams on their T side. Their CT side was abhorrently bad. And we went to OT, where we had 3 OTs of flawless T side rounds from both teams. The fact that GODSENT are actually putting up a lot more work on their CT side right now is very impressive. And it shows they've clearly worked on their mistakes. Because, you know, yeah, they had a good T side. They got 7 rounds, right? But even so, this is good from GODSENT to be able to keep this game in check. Gambit are now 2 rounds away from going to OT in a game that they should have won out earlier in this match. And
I'm all for what GODSENT's been trying to do in these last couple of rounds, right? It's the argument that the best defense is a strong offense, and we see it coming off of the pause. Gambit tries to set up for that fountain play, and GODSENT are ready to go toe-to-toe. Hampus even gambles with that long flank on low HP, offering up the man advantage. Sure, he gets punished, but it's, again, an instance whereby GODSENT are not allowing themselves to be bullied. They are trying to go blow for blow with Gambit. And now, 2 rounds in a row, they've succeeded, right? They shut down that B play very convincingly. The smoke grenades at the feet, their Molotovs were extinguished, and because of that, they anticipated the pace of the round. They were prepared to shut them down, and they did so accordingly. GODSENT have nearly done it. They've nearly forced OT. They've got 2 rounds left to convert, and this one should be easier, seeing as it's pistols and utility for Gambit.
Oh, but you know, you always have that seed of doubt, Connor, so let's see if they can actually get away with it. Hampus has firstly taken that kill, but look at the aggression from Gambit to try and counteract it. They're just going to run through the smokes up on short. It won't work out for them, sadly. They're going to lose most of their men. Seized only man to get a frag, but he's traded back just to Dren.
Like, that's another prime example of GODSENT not shying away from the gunfights, right? You see all these smokes and flashbangs coming your way. You're not sure if Gambit have actually invested into maybe a couple of rifles. You don't know what they have. But instead of just shying away into the bomb sites, offering up all of that map control on the A site, you just fall within the smokes. You find a little bit of footing to work with, and you just kind of bunker down, right? You dig your trench, you hold it, and they've absolutely done that. The Swedes have pushed this now to the 30th round.
I want to see Gambit play a slower approach. I know that GODSENT are getting very aggressive, but Gambit don't seem to really be trialing that by going for one of these very slow defaults, baiting out the utility, allowing GODSENT to take some map control, and then, you know, trading effectively when they're playing fairly passive. You know, these fast B rushes are great when GODSENT don't have money, but as we said, these Molotovs have been shutting them down, giving Gambit, you know, a real task towards this B site. Great nades from Hampus and Brolin going to take down a Dren, and that's a huge frag at no risk for GODSENT.
I mean, how many times have we now seen Gambit try that aggressive forefront, right? Gets predicted, gets punished, and Hampus nearly cleared off of long, but Doja won't finish him off.
See, the question is now, it's GODSENT, even after they take these first picks, they still continue to be aggressive, as you said, you know, bringing the fight here on the CT side. Now they've slowed down. They've actually fallen back a lot. They've given up A. It's only Doppelin who's even committed somewhat up towards this B site. So maybe Gambit can pull themselves back into this round, considering they haven't had the opportunity to just rush a bomb site in a 4-on-4 or a 4-on-5. But still Doppelin's here. He's lurking around, and Hobbit has no clue. So Danger down towards B, and he even gets caught. That's perfect. Now GODSENT can settle back into a passive setup because Gambit, they're running out of options. They're running out of time.
Of all the time to peek, he gets it once the back is turned. That's so gnarly from Disco Doppelin. It's going to force the T's into the A site where they continue to fall. Mo deleted, and here we go. It's overtime, Hugo, surely. Unless Seized works some magic, which he won't. Burnt to a crisp as we head in past regulation.
Yeah, it's getting toasty here into the 31st round coming up. This is not the game I would have thought that would be going over to OT after not only the first half, but also, you know, how Gambit ran away with that second half at one point. What was it, 13-8, 13-7, really? Before GODSENT started to climb their way back into the game. Yeah, this has been really, really impressive from GODSENT. I'm excited to see this now as we go into OT. And Gambit are going to be kicking themselves, right? Because now they've thrown away a lead. They're going with their backs up against the wall off of the back of losing the last 6 rounds in a row.
If there's one thing I didn't anticipate from GODSENT, and something that I think played a key to their success on the CT side, it was that superb utility usage.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do we get, obviously, the grenade stack out through Fountain in the last round, think of the way that they were continuously using smokes and flashes to shut down Gambit's aggressive play style, their own smokes to kind of section off pushes into A-site, right? When we watch Gambit smoke out both sides of bathrooms, the response from GODSENT was to smoke off Party and that first ramp into Fountain, which meant you had a gunfight within smoke barriers. And obviously, we watch GODSENT step up in those instances. But the continuation of the T side from Gambit, will it fall flat? Or will it re-inflate itself? Because it's been a while since we've seen them win a round.
16k MR3 as well, so plenty of cash for all 3 rounds of the half. No one has to worry about resets, saving, ecos, etc. Pressure is on here for Gambit if they really want to take their map pick. This is a map as well they've been very good on recently. Not that GODSENT shy away from overpass by any means, that's definitely not true, but this should be one that Gambit could be confidently taking. Hobbit, though, already kicking things off. It seems like it's been a while since we've had Gambit with a man advantage, so Mo dead. In response, GODSENT going to pull it back into a 4-on-4, and now Gambit going back towards B. This is what I wanted to see ages ago, a slower approach towards this B site, but the issue is it's slow into the hands of Twist with the AWP response once again. Seized is dead, and this is again, one by one, GODSENT taking this man advantage. No trade found from Gambit leaves them in a very awkward spot, and they rally back towards A. The issue is, all this time towards B has allowed GODSENT to take all this map control and connector.
Yeah, but if Brolin goes down, then we're going to watch Gambit redirect themselves towards A. Oh, even though it's delayed, Adren's still successful. Uh-oh.
Team wallbang.
Little love tap, but GODSENT will have to double back in through the dumpster. The terrorists trying to couple the push with the utility, and this is not enough to keep Twist out of the bomb site. He will get this position towards the Optimus Prime, actually skewers Hobbit with the first shot. Adren clears Freddy, now another. Adren just taking the bomb site by storm, but the plant, is there time? Did he get it? Yes. Disco to clutch, 1v2, flashes quickly into the site. Doja holds him off. And Gambit start overtime with a win.
And again, Adren coming back to life, 3 kills from him. It feels like he is the man of the hour here for Gambit. Almost 40 kills in this first map. Fantastic stuff. No one even close. Hampus is at 32 on the other side, but his team, he's got 14 more than the second best player. Adren having massive impact on this T side, and Gambit, first round of the half. If only they took that maybe 6 rounds ago.
Yeah, we wouldn't be in this instance. But alas, Hugo.
Ooh, is this what we think it is, Connor? Is this the fast B from Gambit?
Could be. They will extinguish the smokes on short. Seized gets his positioning yet again. Ooh, nice little spam from Disco. Spots it on the hops.
And something Seized has been so good at least on this map, is the wall banging towards B. Even on the CT side, he has so many lineups that I like to watch where he just manages to catch people out in different corners, in different positions, setting up smokes, etc. So Seized definitely known to do that on this site.
You know who you watch if you want to learn all those angles?
Yeah?
Zipex.
Oh, yeah?
He knows them all.
Oh.
But the boost, unpunished as of yet. Seized will continue to try and spam away. That's nice. I like that they have the player up above and the man underneath not in front of the wood. But it doesn't help. Hobbit still skewers Disco from the top of the boost. Seas then comes in with one of his own, and it's finally a trade. Now that tells them there was 3 players on the B bomb site, and they will commit regardless. They need to find a way to clear Hoppus from the situation, but he's doing a great job of locking this down. The flashbangs have been fantastic. They blind them yet again, and Twist arrives in the nick of time, putting it all on Doja. He will come in from short. 30 seconds, not enough, as Twist takes another. What an individual round.
And great versatility as well from GODSENT in terms of their setups, right? We talked about how their comeback was so down to the aggression, down to the fast-paced approach on the CT side and getting in the face of Gambit. That was a passive round where, you know, Gambit just walked into the bomb site. GODSENT had no information, no push, for example, down towards B, and they still win the duels. Hampus, again, stepping up. And just shows that it's good that they didn't just rely on playing this aggressive CT style. They can actually just fall back to good site defenses and good individual performances as we know this team. So, keeping things even as we head into the 3rd and final round of this half. It's again a full buy for both teams, and Mo already kicking things off. Hampus decides to get aggressive once again, but this time it doesn't work out.
Yeah, that time I would say what's missing in his attempt is the utility play, right? Every other time we'd watch GODSENT and Regulation go for those kinds of forward pushes.
Or even the teamwork, right? No one was up on short, no one was getting aggressive there. It was just, you know, Gambit owned the entirety of that part of the map, but where has this come from? Freddy, he's suddenly pushed up outside of B. Mo's going to keep things in check and does get the bomb back under control. But GODSENT had the information, they may expect a bit of a B play now.
Yeah, Doja has to thoroughly clear this right side. If not, Disco Doppler can shut them both down, and he does get Doja. Now, he doesn't have utility to get himself out of this position. Brolin's got the single flash, which connects, but doesn't give him the opportunity to cross, and there you go. Frag Grenade actually slows him down. Brolin will still try to lock down the B site. He is entirely alone in this moment. He does have Twist coming back in from short, but these Ts are working their way inwards, and the leg shot's not enough, but Brolin drops the bomb, and now Adren is going to have to clutch. Have GODSENT done this again?
Oh, what a shot from Brolin. Again, it seems like, you know, he may not be the star right now this game, but he's having so much impact. These little rounds where he's picking up 2-3 kills and just shutting down situations that Gambit should, on paper, always be winning. That should have been Gambit's round through and through, but no. Brolin denies him any progress, and that will be the last of the half going to GODSENT. So leading going into this second half, but now we're going back to the CT side of Gambit. This is as close as you can be, Connor. Where are you leaning right now? Are you still sticking with Gambit for this?
I mean, the thing is, right, is that I feel like GODSENT have been able to kind of irk their way in those very close situations, right? Every time we get those 2v2 type scenarios, it's been GODSENT more recently as of late. But it is Gambit back on the CT side. It's been a long time since we've seen them here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this.
Yes,
Do
yes,
it.
yes.
Do it. Oh. Well, going back to this anyway, though, GODSENT T side is, as we said, very dangerous. And considering Gambit took the pistol and still GODSENT gets 7 rounds after losing conversions, it shows that, yeah, the rifle rounds, majoritarily so were them. It was just when Gambit had pistols, but back into B and Tosia and Hobbit already shutting down this presence from GODSENT. They're cut off. This Molotov trying to keep Doppler back out, but it's actually going to be a missed one. Twist already worked his way deep, and Dosia, he may not expect this position, but it's a trade straight back from Hobbit to keep things in the favor of Gambit.
Yeah, that's a solid trade frag from Hobbit. And I mean, Gambit just so successfully shutting down the B site, simply doing to GODSENT what was done to them. And continuously, Gambit will just actually sit on the B site. They're not going to offer it up until now they start to exit. A little bit of a boost.
Adren just moved off of barrels as soon as they went for that boost as well.
Ooh, but he doubles back. Disco attacks and doesn't get the opening he had hoped for. Still, Gambit will remain split, 2 players per bomb site. They haven't actually seen the confirmation on bomb, and now we've got 3 actually downwards. Mo posted up on the angle. Who's watching Monster? That'll be Adren. No, he's floating.
Dangerous. He spots the head, so it's just information that allows for another man to come back down, but it's not even needed. Mo and Adren again shutting down that push, and there's the score equalized once more. 17-17 here for both teams. Money, obviously, still good, and now we head to the penultimate round, potentially. Obviously, a team needs to get a 19-17 win, or we go to another overtime, and frankly, the way this game has been going, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think you can call it at this point.
No.
We're just gonna have to take this round by round, Hugo.
40 kills for Adren.
Just keeps rolling. Again, Adren to the stance aggressively towards the party. will position Seized down into connector alone. And he decides to smoke off the opposite side. Great opening pick from Mo. Anticipates the peek from Freddy B. And will find Gambit their early man advantage. Now, GODSENT is just kind of creeping and crawling their way forward, but the problem with this is that Seized could go unchecked here. If he opts to go for a bit of an expedition towards the back of the ladder, then he could easily come in behind GODSENT. And I can't help but feel, knowing Seized, that's the exact play he's going to try to make.
As long as he doesn't get caught out by timing or get too aggressive for his good, this could be actually perfect now. And they won't expect this again. With a 5-on-4, it's very common. Gambit will just settle back into a passive setup. So for Seized to be behind them all is going to be a real loophole here for Gambit. As GODSENT, they'll be sneaking up towards A. Seized still reconsidering down in this connector for the time being as they wait to see if GODSENT going to bring the heat, but Hampers catches out the aggression of Dosia on the A bomb site, and that's untradeable as well. So yes, Hampers gets tagged low, but here's where the big impact comes in. Seized talked about in the connector. He does damage, but he gives away his position. Molotov may shut down this push, and it catches Brolin, but it won't kill him. Actually, well, I'm confused. It takes him down after the kill of Seized, and Doppler somehow finds a kill onto B. Yeah, this is massive.
There is barely any health keeping these terrorists alive, and yet they have a 3v1 post plant. Adren can take them all down with 3 shots. He goes charging in through the flames, and then Twist misses his chance to knock him down. They have him pinned into the corner. The flashbang connects, and Adren, you know he's going to start thinking about his options. So he opts to walk in. Now he's got to clear out these corners, and he's going to do so quickly. Time is an issue. We hit that 19-second mark. He does have himself the kit, but no utility to go with this. He needs to tap the bomb. That is what would force the fights. But Disco Doppler so patiently on the angle, and they've done it. The HP from GODSENT is 18 in total. Between 3 players, Hugo. Seized had his chance to strike. He allows the first player to cross, and despite Molotoving the bomb, they still get that round. That is incredible.
That's a big whiff. That is a big whiff there. Without that, missed shot, that round's over. That round is Gambit's every day of the week. Perfect positioning. A man advantage, yes, lost, but still Hampers tagged up by that push on Doja on the A site.
And what really makes it worse, too, is that he actually took the chance at the first player rotating down through the wall, right? It wasn't a clean execution type shot. And there was 2 more guys coming, bomb included. Had he just waited a moment longer, he skewers both, and then he can even Molotov the bomb, buying enough time. But hindsight's 20/20, and the score is 17-18. GODSENT in the lead. Gambit fighting for double OT. GODSENT want their win here.
Yeah, this was Gambit's hand ages ago in regulation as well. They are definitely not going to be happy fighting for that second overtime, but maybe they'll bring some aggression here. We've already seen the AWP push up from Mo, and he's going to get the angle. Only a tag, though. Can he finish off the job? No! Twist takes him down, and while Dosia will respond in the meantime, keeping things even, with the Dren pushed up on the corner, GODSENT may not expect this positioning. Brolin walks in, but he still wins the duel. Not going to be ready for that. It doesn't seem to make a difference. GODSENT hold the man advantage now, and while they are low, they've done exactly this before. Gambit left the 3 players to try and hold off on this push, and GODSENT, they're in no rush for time. They've still got 50 seconds. Gambit both players on truck, but you can just see they're reconsidering what exactly are they doing. Are GODSENT going to be hitting this A site? And that is a big yes.
And GODSENT last round rotated back down, and this is why reason Doja's just going to hold. The flames are fantastic, but here comes the hold. It's Seized and Hobbit just locking it down until Hampus comes in from long. Seized has the cover. His teammates coming in, and Doja strikes, leading us to double overtime. Gambit, again, have managed to claw their way back. I mean, this isn't going to stop, Hugo. I'm here all day.
This is the first map of a best of 3, Connor. We are definitely going 3 maps regardless of the victor here. This is a fantastic game. And obviously, that's got to be a bit of a kick in the teeth to GODSENT, seeming like they had that match at one point. But, I mean, more so for Gambit. They, again, lost a 6-round streak, at least, to allow GODSENT to claw things back into overtime at 15-9. I mean,
Gambit won both pistols.
Yeah.
Converted fully, even though they lost the second in the second half, right? They got it right back. So they made the most of that. They were given 2 rounds where they were afforded wins off of pistols. And yet they then allowed GODSENT to sneak back into overtime. Sure, this time they're the players that kind of, forced the double OT. GODSENT were the ones on map point. But regardless, I don't think you can really argue. GODSENT have been more so in control of this game.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I think control probably not the word I would use, but definitely been winning more rifle rounds, although Seized We already talked about his B-Slight wallbangs. There's a little taster for you already. Hampus dead and a great nade to follow up as well. If he follows up with a spray, that could even take a second kill for free. Hobbit, in fact, is going to be the man to do that as he shuts down one on short. Twist dead. And Gambit running away with a 2-man advantage early on into this round. Untradeable from GODSENT as well.
Awkward situation now for GODSENT. They still have some utility to work with. Could opt to chuck a volley inwards. Just try to clothesline Seized as he seeks information. And I don't think Gambit in a 5 versus 3 situation are going to be too stressed here, right? They still got 3 guys down on B, and they're waiting. They're just waiting for GODSENT to strike. GODSENT will probably clear connector using Brolin, who's going to rotate down from A, unless he opts to throw a fake, which he could do, seeing as he has grenades. But that would put the B site entry in a really tricky spot, because remember, Freddy's tagged up early on.
They still have smokes. That's the big thing. They can just throw them down. 20-second marking. GODSENT have to push through them. They have to get aggressive. And Freddy needed that kill, but Dosia shuts him down. And GODSENT left a 2 coming up through short. They've got to go for it. It is overtime after all, but they're just not going to find the result. Doppler with 1 frag. Can't even double down. And this round is over. Gambit are taking the first of double OT, but Doppler trying to at least boost his stats in the meantime. It's Dosia, not known for his AWPing, with a 3K on the B-bomb site. And Gambit taking 19 rounds.
Yeah. I think this is the overtime half where we're going to watch kind of Gambit fall into their own. I've got a hunch. I've got an inkling. Don't look at me like that, Hugo.
I believe it. I believe it. I did call Gambit to win this map after all. Again, we've talked about it. You know, GODSENT clearly been putting time into overpass. They are not known as an overpass team, at least as their best map. But you know, this is one that Gambit should, on paper, just be taking every day of the week. So I'm very impressed at GODSENT so far. Can they go the full distance though? Can they take their opponent's map pick? They're a round down in double OT.
That's the thing, though, Hugo. It's Gambit on paper. And now they play on computers. It's a little more complicated.
After you.
As I was going to say, as silence kind of blankets both bomb sites here, right? This is one of those rounds, I think, where both these teams have realized the implications of this one.
GODSENT though. Going for the B play, it seems. Molotov's already in, and Hobbit with a lineup. He takes 2, 3 from Hobbit. Bomb dropped, round 1. That's surely unrecoverable for GODSENT, and Hobbit is not done just yet. 4 frags from the man himself, and Gambit will shut it down flawlessly.
That's sick. That all comes down to timing. Boils into the situation whereby Gambit, they see the Molotovs flying forward. They had no control inside of connector. They had given GODSENT all they could have asked for as they tried to charge into the B site. And Hobbit, well, he just needs a flashbang. Sees 3 players with their heads turned, cleans them up, and then even swaps to the op for the 4th there. Style points as he predicts GODSENT's attempt to retake his position. And that's the kind of play that's going to reinvigorate the entirety of your team now. So Gambit are feeling hot and heavy as they come into what could be their last CT round. If they can get that clean 3-0 sweep, then I have, again, a hunch we are done here. But you never know.
You never know. GODSENT pulled a 6-round comeback earlier on.
Yeah.
For them to take a flawless CT side on the exact side they pulled said comeback is not impossible at all. Especially not with money not being a factor anymore in this overtime. Although GODSENT working up towards A, just trying to make things easier. If they can get this last round of the half, it just takes a bit of weight off their shoulders, means they can play for the victory in that second half instead of having to fight back for a 3rd overtime, as if they haven't pulled back enough rounds already. But Hobbit, he's confident after that previous one, and I don't blame him. Pushes up on short and drops Disco Doppler. Gives Gambit the man advantage. GODSENT, where is their response right now? They do send that bomb up through the A bomb site, but that's not going to be the right call to make. Gambit with 3 players here, and an AWP as well. Mo sat on the site. Adrenaline sees to join him as well. This is a big defense here from Gambit, and what on earth is that from Twist?
Oh, he just rips Mo's head clean off. Now Seized thinking about trying to push in through the smoke. He could lock down long, but as long as they hold the cross, they are good to go. But with the smoke at his side starting to fade, he needs to now worry about long. And if his attention gets pulled away, then the site could be doomed. But Brolin actually finds cover and the headshot, while Bren lines up at least that first one. Hobbit, he takes 2. And this pushes it on to Brolin. Gambit could have them. There's only 10 seconds left. He needs to get the plant, and it's done. It is done. Doja locks it down, and they just filter GODSENT in.
And the face of Doja, just not even impressed at that. Massive play, massive round from Gambit again. It's Hobbit stepping up 2 rounds in a row, and a flawless half. I mean, again, I don't want to count GODSENT out, I don't want to count anyone out of this matchup, but this is going to be a very difficult second half for GODSENT if they want to pull things back.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's got to be the clean sweep, right? It's never a good feeling when you're all of a sudden, you know, having this back and forth type overtime, and then instantly it's like, all right, clean sweep or nothing. Triple overtime.
And the worst part about that is clean sweep, and they don't even win. Clean sweep, and they get another chance at 6 rounds. You know, that's even worse. That's even more demoralizing. Double AWP brought in, though, from GODSENT. They want to bring the big guns to play as Gambit, one of their owners you would expect. They are going to set up early outside of B. Maybe not going for one of these fast approaches, knowing GODSENT have the utility to counter that, but at least getting the setup. Seized in through short, as per usual. Combined with Doja coming through the connector as well, this is a good setup from Gambit, because it means if GODSENT have taken this map control, Seized gets taken down, Doja instantly trades, or at least you hope. Seized has opened up, though. No need for Doja's impact.
Oh, but Twist topples Adren. And Mo's going to stay trained in, but the smoke blocks things off. Freddie B's getting curious as Doja actually gets one over the top. That's an excellent time for the boost. It works out, but Freddie, do they expect this? I mean, he's sitting just on the other side of the smoke, and he's already successful in shutting down Seized. Another onto Mo, and it's a man advantage. It looks like he wants to keep going, and Doja dodges the flashbang, but the smoke will cool things down.
Look at Hobbit in the meantime as well. He's just run up to the A site. That's not going to work out. Tries to flank onto GODSENT, but they're one step ahead of his game, and Twist will follow up. The AWPs finishing off that round and allowing GODSENT to take their 19th. They're not out of the woods just yet. Gambit, still money to buy. Still no issue. And still the double AWP in play from GODSENT. I don't blame them with that effect. It was a nice attempt from Hobbit again. When you're down a man, to send a player up towards A, especially when GODSENT have seen a lot of players down on B, it's very common to just see that full rotate off the A bomb site, and that would allow Hobbit to even flank through the CT spawn. He had the time for it, but no. Orb was posted, Hampus was ready, and GODSENT are keeping things in check for the time being.
Now we have 4 snipers in play, one of which already slain. That's Hampus down for the count, but Twist is trying to pry in from long. Doja just gets past him. And Brolin's attempting to retreat, but Doja punishes that. Now Doja's going to anticipate a peek. Now Twist's position could be read into. Oh, and the flash is superb. Nice! Gambit just picking them to parts, one by one.
Yeah, no trades here from GODSENT, and 2 men left up to try and defend this first map, try and stop Gambit from running through with a victory on overpass. And Gambit, they've not even committed yet. They're still split. They're still holding on. It's GODSENT are forced to make the next play, really. We've already seen aggression from Doppler as he's worked his way up through short into the hands of Mo. Just Freddie B left now on a 1-on-4 to keep this map up for GODSENT, keep overpass in play. But these footsteps, they're all going to be heard. There's a man down B. That's Adren. He's got all the information. So, yeah, okay, they know Freddie B's rotating, but it shouldn't be an issue. Dozier has crept his way into the spawn. The Molotovs holding out Freddie and just keeping him at bay, and there's just nothing he can do. Mo even getting aggressive with the AWP as well. Freddie, he's not going to expect this position, although he will. Does take the frag, and now this round thrown up into air. Heard the bomb plant coming through, but he won't expect Dozier's position. That's it. Gambit have run away with it. First map going their way. It will be close. It will come to double OT, but they take it in good stride.
I mean, that game could have been a completely different situation, though. Remember what GODSENT had to get through just to force overtime, let alone a second, right? That could have been a Gambit victory very early on, and one of the things we talked about with Gambit this weekend is always going to be, right, like, which form do we get? Are we going to get hot Gambit? Are we going to make mistakes with Gambit? And they did make some crucial errors. Now, remember, in regulation, they're graced with both pistol rounds. They pretty much convert fully, despite losing the force in the second. And then, again, they're given the most opportunities in terms of eco rounds, Hugo. So Gambit get the win, probably not the way they would have hoped for. But regardless, it is theirs. The first map belongs to Gambit. Second map, Mirage. No, Inferno.
Inferno, yeah. Mirage being the third. Yeah, I think this could be an interesting one as well, now going to Inferno, because, again, it's a whole question. You know, how much prep have Gambit done on this map? You know, historically, they've had a lot of success on it, but GODSENT have definitely been looking good on it as of late themselves. So, actually, you know, I still don't think this game is over. I still don't think this series will be as clean-cut as a 2-0, and with the performance GODSENT are showing as well on Overpass, there's a very realistic chance they could drag this to a third.
And what was impressive to me was GODSENT's preparation in terms of, like, utility play and responses losses to Gambit. They never got bullied off of map control on long A overpass and even up towards bathrooms, right? Which is something that's very hard to do as a CT side sometimes. If you've got T's pushing your way, it can be problematic. But we're going to throw this one back to James and the boys on the desk so that they can break it down, not us.
5 reasons to bet on bets.net. 1. We are not a bookmaker agency. We are a betting exchange. We are fine with any outcome of the event, so we have no reason not to pay your win. The information about the bets is available for everyone in real time. We stand for fair esports. 2. Instant replenishment and withdrawal of funds. No delays, checks, and restrictions. 3. Convenient mobile app on iOS and Android. All site functionality is in your pocket. Bonuses for each user of the app. 4. More than 800,000 people trust us. We are the most visited esports bet site in the CIS. 5. All coefficients are fully transparent and the commission rate is the lowest. We play fair and square. Bets.net. Visit us and win with us.